Robert Halfon, Friday in the constituency, and here you are at the Rollins Group. You really enjoy coming to businesses in Harlow, don't you?
It's one of my favourite things to do, to come to a brilliant business like Rollins. They supply tools all over the country to the big companies like B&Q's, Wickes. They export tools to the United States. They employ 35 people, many of them from Harlow. It's a fantastic company. It's yet another example of businesses thriving in our town.
So here we are in January 23. Have you been asked certain questions by the good people here?
Yeah, I've been asked about the economy, and the good thing is I spoke to the Managing Director about the economy. They're happy with what the Prime Minister is doing because they say it's making things much more stable. What the businesses care about most is stability. So they know what the prices are, they know what the pound is against the dollar. They want to make sure that the economy is stable because then they've got a good market to sell their products.
And as we're talking about business and investment, you must have been delighted at the levelling up money given to Harlow.
Well, over the moon. I mean, I work really hard, day and night, with the Conservative councillors and the officers, and I thank the officers at Harlow Council as well, to lobby for that money. And there are only 100 bids or so that were successful, and we're getting £20 million to completely renew Playhouse Square around there, turn it into an art centre, music venue. We'll have cafes and bars, and this isn't just about having art and culture, which is really important, but it means jobs. It means more apprenticeships, it means more skills, it means money coming into the town, it means a beautiful place for our residents, it means people from outside Harlow will come and build up our economy. And the important thing is this isn't just the 20 million that we got yesterday, but it's also on top of £23 million that from the Towns Fund that we were again successful in bidding for, which is going to the other side of the town where the bus station is, which is going to completely renew our town. I promised in the 2019 election that I would build an even better Harlow, and we're delivering. We're delivering. We've got that money. Many other places in the country they weren't successful, and we have been, because this government cares about Harlow, it's investing in Harlow, and I'm really happy for all the residents across our town.
So we can see wrecking balls, where Strawberry Star are developing, you're getting green lights, etc., etc. But other projects, any updates on things like public health or UK health agencies just around the corner, the hospital? Are there any updates coming your way on these developments? Just
on the first things, you're right, the wrecking ball is coming in. As I understand it, what was known as Acacia House, that is going to be demolished fairly soon. I've spoken to the council about that. In terms of the what was known as Public Health England, it's had a big reorganisation since COVID. The government have just given that project more money to prepare for the move to Harlow. So things have been delayed because of the COVID and because of the pandemic, and also because there is no longer a Public Health England. There's a brand new body that has different component parts to it. But these projects, including the new hospital, are coming to Harlow, but albeit with a delay, through no one's fault, but because of the pandemic.
What about the hospital?
Well, I mentioned the hospital as well. I said the hospital. The hospital, we're getting a new hospital. I've been told that many times. I had a recent meeting with the hospital's minister. His name is Lord Markham, the new hospital's minister, about that. We're getting our new hospital. There are planning issues because we want the new site just off the M11. There are planning issues with the landowners that have got to be resolved. The government is setting out its hospital programme. These things have been delayed. I can't, it's the truth, because of the pandemic, but the proof of the government's commitment to Harlow has been shown by the last 2 years. This is very important, because 23 million invested in our town. We said it was going to happen, it's happened. Another 20 million already. Don't forget, the government have given a lot of millions of pounds for Public Health England to come to Harlow to buy the building anyway.
As we mentioned hospitals, with the recent voting about minimum standards and requirements, what type of welcome do you think you'd get amongst hospital staff?
Well, I recognise it is incredibly tough for hospital staff with the cost of living, and by the way, not just hospital staff, everyone in the public sector and the private sector. So I think of everyone from nurses, teachers, but also people working in our shops, people who are delivering to our houses products. Everyone there's a cost of living challenge, and as I've said before, the government have got three challenges, three roads. So we've got to spend money on vital public services on the front line. If we don't do that, the public get very upset, rightly so. We've got to cut the debt, because if we don't cut the debt, then we won't have any money to spend on anything. And we've got to cut inflation, because that's the biggest tax of all, right? Because you go into the shop, a loaf of bread is 50p more than it was a couple of years ago, for example. So those things, plus the government have got to spend billions and billions of pounds on helping people with the cost of living and cutting energy bills, which they have done. £400 to every household, for example, £1,200 to the most disadvantaged families. So what the government have said is we're doing what the pay review bodies have recommended. Those are independent pay review bodies. But there have to be, in emergency services, there have to be some kind of minimal level of service. There already is for the police and the armed forces. And the problem is if you take a train strike, for example, it isn't just a question of a train strike. What happens then is millions and millions and millions of people are affected. They can't get to work. Not just those people can't get to work, but millions of companies are affected as well. So if you take the hospitality sector, they are losing billions and billions of pounds, because obviously if people can't travel, they may not buy coffee on the way home, they may not go to a restaurant, they may not go to a bar. So it's incredibly damaging. So all the government is saying with these this legislation is we just should have some minimum service levels, both for emergency services but also for vital services like trains.
I just find it, how is the Conservative Party under Rishi Sunak? In fact, he made the 5 pledges in the first week of this month, and you were there right on the front, so you get the feeling that there's a real synergy and bond between the two of you. So how do you think he's performed?
Well, I really like him. I think he's honest, he's got integrity. Above all, in these very difficult times, he understands the economy, and he's not saying everything straight away to please everyone, because if we wanted to, you'd be saying, why don't we do this, why don't we do that? I'd be saying, yeah, we're going to spend billions here, and do this, do that. Much harder to say we can't spend money on everything straight away. What we've got to do is cut inflation, cut the debt, grow the economy, deal with the boats problem, and cut the NHS waiting list. He's made 5, those are 5 pledges that he's made, and he said, you judge me by it. I like the fact that he knows what he's talking about, he knows about the economy, he's got integrity, he's bringing stability. The managing director of this company that I'm in, Roland's company in the Harlow Business Park, said that it makes a huge difference that he is stabilising the economy. It makes a difference to millions of people, not just companies, but individuals, because we're going to get inflation down, we're going to get, God willing, interest rates down slowly, and hopefully help people with the cost of living challenges.
So you sound very positive about 2023, and you're bringing out a positive vibe.
I'm probably excited because we've just got 20 million quid from the government for Harlow. Winning 100 bids, we won. The government invested in Harlow. Harlow was forgotten about for many years until 2010. Look at the hundreds of millions of pounds that come into our constituency, whether it's the Advanced Manufacturing Centre at Harlow College, whether it is the investment in the future Public Health England or the new hospital, delayed but still coming, whether it is the regeneration of our town centres. Of course I'm excited, but I don't get me wrong, there are massive challenges. People are struggling with the cost of living. Everyone in public services, everyone in the private businesses, times are very, very difficult. But a few months ago, you went to the petrol station, what was it, £2 a litre? £2 a litre, it's now just below 150 in fact. So God willing, this will continue, and we can get our bills down, we can get taxes down, we can get inflation down, we can get our debt down, and we can help people get over the cost of living and get back to being a prosperous country once again.